All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another amazing episode of the Attacking Third while our guest types away.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Of course, I'm the host, Austin, joined by co-host this week, Gus. Shame we couldn't have him last week, but he's here this time. And bringing back down there in the middle, my brother Alex. Welcome back, dude.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
I feel terrible for my personal audio quality this week. Went to get everything running on my computer, and my browser StreamYard was just like, you're using another thing that has access to your microphone and camera, so we can't do anything. I'm like, dude, the only thing I have open is a game. Like, please just let me do this.
That's what happened to me.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just like, I literally said to Gus, I was like, I don't understand what's happening, and I don't know. I just went on I'm on my phone with my little earbuds on, so my apologies for.
I need to get one of them touch microphones like Alex has.
Yeah.
That typing at the beginning of the podcast was definitely not me going through my Amazon orders to find my microphone to send it to Austin. Definitely wasn't that. No.
Sure. I'm pretty sure you sent it to me a while back.
Probably.
I got a chance to look at it, but like, I don't know. The one I have here, it is. Hello. Bing, bang, boom. This is like it was like a $15 microphone, and it sounds better than my $80 one. So.
Pain.
I was pretty stoked about getting it. So yeah, let's dive right the frack into it. Alex, Nashville, Philadelphia Union, 1-1 draw, opening of Geodis Park. Tell us all about it.
It was fun, man. It's a blur. It's a blur. I could tell you more about the Philadelphia Union's first ever match and first match in then PPL Park than I can about what just happened on Sunday. It was it's so crazy to see a stadium that looks like that. And I think it might have a lot to do with my path going as a Union fan to where the team was being announced and I became a Union fan and joined the Sons of Ben, to where I moved to Nashville, and one of the first events I went to was a town hall hearing about the stadium being built. So it's been 5 years in the making for this type of thing, and to finally see it come to fruition is crazy. Good match overall for Nashville. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of what you expect out of Nashville. Now, looking at it, I would like to say objectively, I would say Nashville maybe should have won by about 4 goals if Andre Blake didn't stand on his head. But I mean, a draw is what I'll take a point. I'll take a point when you run up against an absolute brick wall.
See, and that's how I felt, because looking at the game, going to the first game at the park, right? Mm-hmm. Going against a Nashville team that's very good. In a situation like that, with all the fans just waiting for a win, to leave that place with a point, I will take that all day long. Especially because I was telling Austin earlier, we should have lost this game 4-1.
Yeah,
for sure. Like we should have, but gladly enough, we have that break wall that is Blake in our goal.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. It's part of our game.
Austin and I talked last week about how this game could have gone either extreme way, that it could have ended with 5 goals or it could have ended with no goals. And I mean, Nashville got all the set pieces they needed. They had a ton of corners. It felt like every second we were up on our feet, and they just couldn't put the one extra away.
Yeah, well, they dominated the pace of the game, though. They had 60% to 60% possession. Mm-hmm. So they dominated the actual game itself, but we couldn't get the ball in the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you think just in the first quarter hour of that match, Nashville struck post twice on rippers from outside of the box.
Yeah.
It could have easily been 2-0 going into the half at least.
Yeah. And you get
and the best part is both of those shots from outside of the box were by a center back in Zach Lacardi. He ripped them both.
Yeah.
And my God, dude, if one of those would have went in, I felt like the foundation of Geodis Park would have been just torn apart. Like that place would have went absolutely wild.
That place would have fell. Yeah, it fell to the ground.
The club actually just announced today, so that the attendance for that game was 30,100 and something, 30,109 or something like that. They just broke the 22,000 season ticket holder threshold. So you know for a fact that bare minimum you're getting 22,000.
Holy shit, dude! That's amazing.
Yeah, 22,000 season ticket holders in that building now. It's wild.
But they have a very good, a very good fan base.
Yeah, it's become fun. Yeah. It's when I first moved here, I was like, I must have missed something. Nashville has to have an MLS team. Like, I must have just not been paying attention to the Western Conference or something. Sure enough, no. And it was weird for a little while. We were playing in a baseball stadium in the USL, and before that we were playing in a college football stadium in the NPSL, and it's kind of come a long way. And now 22,000 season ticket holders in the largest soccer-specific stadium in North America, just an absolute beauty of a place.
Yeah, dude, and just the way that I don't know if it's the way the stadium's shaped or just the sheer size of the crowd, but my goodness, were you guys loud on Sunday?
It's definitely built for that. It's also, the upper levels are very steep. I think the furthest, I can't remember what the exact number is, but the furthest seat away from the end line, like on a direct line, is something like 50 feet. It's like right up on top of everything. The stands in the upper level are just straight. It's unreal.
Wait, can I ask you a question about the stadium? Because I was wondering something while I was watching the game.
Yeah.
On the second half, where the Union were on the corner there, in the left corner, there was a gray area. What was that area?
My understanding is it's a part media area, part premium seating area. They have like tables and stuff like that where like media members set up laptops and things like that.
No shit. I was wondering because I was looking at them like there doesn't seem to be many people there. But wow.
Yeah, they had it in that corner and in the exact opposite corner. That those two have it for some reason. I don't know. They didn't offer me those tickets, so I don't know. Yeah, speaking of weird things about that stadium, it's the supporter section is a the safe standing section that only a few clubs in MLS have. Nashville SC, Cincinnati, the new Columbus Stadium, LAFC, and I think one other one have this newer European safe standing area that's it's really, really cool. So there are no seats. There's like bleachers, but they're folded up and like bolted in, so we can't take them down and sit down. So everyone has to stand for the entire match if you're in the supporter section. So it just leads to nothing but rowdiness.
Well, yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful place. Absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait. We're already talking about going back on Sunday.
The fans and the team both came out like we thought they were going to come out. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Nashville always plays Philadelphia really well. They basically dominated every aspect of the game, though. They had more shots. They had more shots on target. I think just one or two, though. The pressure in the mid. They had like 100 more passes. They controlled the game a lot more. But the Union, we're not known for ball control. We win these games, and I don't know if we've had more than 2 games where we've had more control than the other team.
Yeah, not this year. That used to be a Union MO too. That used to be.
That's our game this year, and that's Curtin's MO right there.
Yeah. I expected to see a lot more out of Sapong that last week too, and he just didn't show up this week like he has. I mean, in previous games against the Union, it was a joke almost that he kind of got up to play against his old clubs, and he scored against Philly last season in the 7th minute or something crazy, and we all expected him to just do it again, and he was invisible.
He almost did. Did you see the karate kick he had in that was pretty good.
Yeah, and we're talking about all these amazing chances that both teams had. Let's just flip the script here. Let's talk about the goalkeeping, because this game would not have been a 1-1 draw if it wasn't for the goalkeeping. Mm-hmm. Just how both goalkeepers was playing aggressively. There were a couple of saves that I heard the announcers during the match say, I have no idea how he made that stop. Like the one that Blake had with a guy within 6 inches of him playing a ball. He does that little drop and gets his foot on it. This easily, like Alex and I were saying last week, this could have been a total 7-goal match if it wasn't for goalkeeping. And they were even saying in the Discord, Alex, they were saying if Blake wasn't in this match, it would have been a totally different story. Like they were saying, like, dude, they were saying, like, it's annoying to play Blake because of how good he is.
Yeah.
And Alex was saying with Turner, you know, only coming back for a short period of time and then going abroad, it's pretty much goalkeeper of the year again this year is Blake Salute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's not even a 1A this year. There for most of his career, there's been at least a 1A where you could make the argument that, you know what, this guy had a really good season. Blake, yeah, sure, he has the highlight reels, but this year is the one. There's no one even coming close to his stratosphere.
Yeah, it's insane.
And yeah, like you said, he's the reason they stayed in that game.
It's amazing, and I'm glad that he's here. It's amazing to me that he's still in the MLS. It really is. Because when you look at his ability, being a goalkeeper, I don't care what kind of talent you're going against. You need to have some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Instinct for it, right? And he has it. The fact that he's still in the MLS, I love it because the Union have him and I'm good. But it's just amazing to me. And there was some concerns with his legs, which is probably the reason why he stayed in the first place. But I'm glad to have him, man. Like, we wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for Blake.
Yeah, and to think people were kind of upset about that draft pick too because of Zach McMath, and there was a log jam at goal and Farid Mondragon, and there was just a log jam at goalkeeper, and Andre Blake was like, "Why did we take this guy? What's the point?" And look at that list now, and at least MLS wise, bare minimum, it's
man no more.
No, not at all. No one should be. The only one who should be is Zach McMath for not showing up a little bit further and keeping his job, but.
I totally forgot about Farid Mondragon.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I forgot that we had him as a keeper, dude. Holy shit.
That was a wild team. That was when everyone, like, please stop with the goalkeepers. Just knock it off. Yeah.
What other keepers have we had that we've ended up playing against on other clubs?
Well, the whole, like, original drafted roster had, like, Chris Seitz, who I think is still in the league. Yep. There was another kid who also played for New England in keeper, and I can't remember his name. But there are a lot of guys, those original Union draft guys who found their way around. And, yeah, Chris Seitz is always the one that I remember because he was the starter in 2010.
But, yeah, that was just – that overall, like, even though the final line was only 1-1, that was a hell of a game to watch. It was such a good just overall form of play from both sides. Like, Nashville started to figure out the set piece defending a little bit more as the match went on. Like, both teams, when it came to set pieces, were having a really tough time securing the first touch on the ball, like, defensively. And then that second touch was
Saturday.
Yeah, and then especially late in that match, like, every second touch that Nashville was getting was an absolute bomb at goal. Like, it was getting to a point I was like, this tie is gonna break, and it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
And the fact that it held just surprised me.
Yeah, we definitely didn't play as well as I hoped we would. I know we talked before a couple weeks. For a couple weeks, we talked about Wagner and how good he was doing. His passes were a little off on Saturday. He didn't seem like he was all the way there. There was a couple mistakes in the back line in the middle that, I mean, they could have resulted in something. We definitely were a little sloppier than I'm used to seeing this year, which I'm hoping that gets fixed come next week.
I mean, one of the things Austin and I talked about last week is getting Carranza going, and it looks like you got Ure going too now. So I mean, yeah, if you needed any help up front, it looks like it's turning around. So.
I knew he had a nice pace, but the dude's fast.
Yeah, I didn't realize that at all.
Fast.
Yeah,
and I had no idea when I saw him go for that ball. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah, he went off like a rocket in between two of the MLS Defender of the Year back-to-back times and another not slouch defender in Dan Lovitz.
And he had time to set it up for himself and then get a goal too. I mean, it was a very nice goal. I'm hoping that this gets to kind of like the floodgates open, because he's been, it's not for lack of trying, because he's had some shots on goal, he's had some opportunities, it just hasn't gone in. Finally does. I'm hoping that this is where he turns it around and just kind of starts getting in the goal more. Kind of has like a gas dog couple games there.
Yeah, it's the pace that both Ua and Carranza have coming out of the front. Well, coming out of that front is just incredible, and to pair it with the midfield pacing that we have tended to have so far this season, and for a good part of last year too, is just it's gonna happen eventually. And seeing Ua find the net to be a regular size now finally, and getting a goal, I feel like it's only a matter of time before it really everything starts clicking with those two. Like Carranza already, just from the preseason, he looks like he's already pretty well adjusted. He's probably working on like the finer things now, and it's not really like trying to find that first step, where it took him a little bit longer to get there, but now that he's there, I think it's going to be really fun to watch the rest of the way through for the Union.
It's definitely a change from Shabelko last year. With Shabelko, it's kind of slowed it down a little bit. This is more of a let's keep up type of forwards, which I love.
And that's seemingly like the target striker in the 4-2-3-1 has been the Jim Curtin experience for so many years, which even Corey Burke isn't the fastest guy in the world, and Sapong and even like Connor Casey before him, just like guys who were just big, strong target striker guys who just got feeds from the wings. It's cool to see just something different in speed guys and technical guys and poachers. Like it's cool to see just something different from a Jim Curtin team.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like you said, with the way that Curtin adjusts at halftime too, the aggression is still always there, and he goes with the young legs of guys like the Sullivans, the McGlyns, and those kinds of guys in the midfield to sort of help change the pace. He flattens the diamond down to a more of a defensive look. Like he brings the two wingbacks, the two wingers in the midfield back to sort of help out defensively a little bit more, which is always good. And honestly, I want to really quick touch on what in the hell was Martinez trying to do, handling something off of his chest with his arms out like this, like he's a crab. Why do you do this in the 87th minute? Why would you do this?
I saw it as soon as it happened. I turned to my brother-in-law. And they missed one too, because there was two instances where I thought for sure they were going to turn it.
Yep.
That second one was more blatant than the first one.
Yeah, because it was awful. I don't understand what makes you do that when you know you're in the box. You're a professional. Come on, man. Stop.
Yeah, and big credit to Randall Leal on burying that PK too, man. That was for how the last time penalty kicks happened against Andre Blake to finally get one. You take it when you can get it now.
Yep.
He almost did. This close.
Yep. I was going to mention that too, of how they were able to kind of break that curse, I guess.
Let me ask you a question, Alex. You as a Nashville fan.
Mm-hmm.
As a Nashville fan, the fact that the first goal was a penalty, does that kind of bother you a little bit?
Kind of. Yes and no. I think that like being in the supporter section, and actually I was on the capo stand for that goal too, the penalty. So I was leading chants in the supporter section for that goal. I mean, you want the excitement of the run of play goal, and I mean, we all as Nashville fans, Hani Mukhtar is the golden god for us. Of like, everyone just has so much fun when he scores, doing the salute thing that he does and everything. But I mean, for the storyline of you're playing Philadelphia, the team that you lost in the playoffs to because you couldn't bury a single penalty kick, and then the way you have to draw this game to at least get a point is to make a penalty kick. It's still, at least the storyline is good for someone looking for storylines at least.
Well, I thought for sure that Mukhtar was going to be the one to kick it. I had no doubt. I was like, it's gonna be him.
Yeah.
And I said my brother-in-law, I was watching the game with him. He was like, I think he went left last time. He's going right this time.
They after they had an open practice a few weeks ago, and Mukhtar and Lial had a penalty kick showdown type thing at the end of the practice, which apparently, according to some of the media guys, they do after every practice. But because the fans were in the stadium, they kind of played it up a little bit, and Lial won that. So I wonder if he won the right to kick that penalty if it came up.
It's very possible. I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think. I would think that would had to have been the stipulation.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's jump ahead to Saturday, May the 7th at 11 p.m. The Philadelphia Union are traveling out to LA to play LAFC. What do you guys see as the keys for the Union walking away with 3 points?
I can tell you that we need to tighten up a little bit right in the back, and then in the middle we can't do the same thing that we did with Nashville because they might punish us a little bit more up front anyway.
Yeah.
They've what are they? They've won the last 5.
Lost one of the last 6, I think.
Yeah,
so five wins, 1 loss in the last 6.
Yeah, so they're coming in strong. I mean, LA always does, so we can't afford to be sloppy or as sloppy as we were against Nashville. Can't do it.
Yeah, yeah, and they're. I mean,
totally.
if you look at some of these recent matches from LA, the firepower is off the charts, and they do it through possession more so than like the Union have been doing it this year through kind of bombarding the net and throwing stuff forward. They do it with a lot of possession, and Nashville going up 60-40 in possession in the last match is not the best sign when you're coming into a team that scores easily 2 to 3 goals a game and dominates possession. But you've got to hope that that's at least a teaching point for Curtin, who obviously has done really well teaching his guys, and he's got a lot of young guys in that lineup, or guys who haven't been doing it for the amount of years that like Ali Bedoya has. So hopefully gets in some ears. Yeah, hopefully he gets in some ears and they can build that possession back up.
Justin's homie Ali Bedoya.
Love him.
I don't know if Austin has told you, but I'm not the biggest fan of Bedoya.
All right.
I've seen him. I know what he means to the team, and I know what he means to the Union. Of course, he's the Union guy. But I've watched Bedoya since being in the U.S. national team.
I get it.
Him. And I was like, yeah.
I get it completely. I mean, he's been in with this team for how long, and it feels like they're not even thinking about lining up his replacement. Like, it just isn't even in the cards. So I get that completely.
They're not. And there's going to be some kids that are going to get some experience. Like, we still have the Sullivans in there. McGlynn's going to be a good talent, I feel. We just got to give him some time out there to see if they can take over. Because at one point, Bedoya's not going to go 90 minutes, right? Mm-hmm. So, and he's not going to play every single game.
So it's got to hit a point eventually.
Right, so we just got to make sure that whoever's going to take his spot is ready. But they can't be ready if they don't see the field. So they got to get out there.
Yeah, you can only be so ready playing Union 2 matches or coming in as a sub in the 88th minute when the game's already over. Like, you can only gain so much experience from that.
We met against this team, though, against LA. What do you think? I mean, do you think we still go 2 forwards up top?
I think in a game like this, I think you want to get ahead of a team that scores a lot. And I think that having the 2 forwards up top with speed gives them a better opportunity to do that. I think that you want to get something early and kind of force LA to chuck balls up into the front half, into the final third, and you've got to get ahead on that. So you've got to go with as much of an attacking lineup as you possibly can.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I do feel like we have a good enough line that we can kind of bother them, and then because like I said, Curtin is not it's not one to not adjust. So and then after them being bothered, kind of switch it up so we can attack a little bit more. Maybe make the switch at the start of the second half to kind of be more intact, depending on what the score is, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like a team like LA, if they don't score, they get frustrated. They start making mistakes. So that's where I would focus on, is just get them bothered and then pounce.
Yeah, if this were last year or the year before, I'd point towards counterattack play and things like that. Get LA to press harder because they want to score a ton of goals, and then use that with the counterattack advantage. And that might still work with now looking at two legitimate speedy strikers. That might still work, but you're right that I think you get them frustrated, and I think a big way, because their counterattack it generally doesn't seem to be the way that they're playing this year as much as they have in previous years. So I think that just getting an early goal is going to be the key here. I think getting up ahead and then getting LA to press more. And if you want to come back and build the counterattack through that press that you forced by getting a goal early, I think maybe that's a move. But I think putting it to them as early as you possibly can is going to be big.
Yeah, I 100% agree with both of you guys. Doing what you can to, sort of secure yourself defensively, try and really get under their skin a good bit with how tight you're playing on them, get ahead early on the board, and then just force them to try and push and be able to play reactionary ball in terms of when the possession turns is going to be really vital, especially like you guys were saying, they've only lost one of their last 6, so they're coming in with a lot of momentum. So it's going to be, you really got to try and stop them from being as dominant as they've been. Like Alex said, 2 to 3 goals per game. You want to try and cut that down. You want to try and cut it down to 1, maybe 2 if you're lucky with how they play, And again, possession. If the Union are trying to win these games on low possession numbers, this is a team that's really going to try and make you pay for not holding on to the ball as long as you can. And it's going to be very vital for the Union to really try and essentially create space by moving the ball around a bit more and waiting for the right time to make those moves, because this team can clamp down. LAFC is really like they can counterattack. Let's not get that twisted. They can counterattack really well. They have the players in place to be able to really make you pay for any given mistake, especially in their midfield. And it's just I feel like every week we're talking about a big battle in the midfield, and that's just, I feel like, the way the MLS has gone is like a lot of strength in midfield and forward play, and then anchoring with at least a solid center, and going from there is pretty much like the base blueprint that you want for an MLS team now. And you're seeing it spread across the league like wildfire. A lot of these teams are really bolstering in the midfield. Like you look at Nashville, like two really staunch defenders in the center, very solid midfield, and then Hani Mukhtar up front. And then the Union, the back line, the solid pacing midfield, and then 2 speeders up front. It's the way the league is going. I love what's happening, honestly. But LA is not any sort of a slouch at all, and you really cannot play back on your heels the entire 90. You really can't. Not against this team. They will not let you have a chance to come back onto your toes, and by the time you do, that final whistle blowing, you've lost by 4. They just have that ability.
You definitely don't want to play catch up against this team. Because
not a chance.
It's really hard to get there.
Well, now that we're getting into this part of the season, we get to talk about one of the best parts of MLS, because for the first time in 3 years, we had a U.S. Open Cup. And the best part, squad rotation, everyone's favorite thing to talk about. You've got a match against LAFC that, I mean, you played one on the road in Nashville. You're going on the road to the West Coast against LA, and then you're going on the road on Tuesday right after that to Orlando. So you've got 3 straight road matches. You've got to get some squad rotation in here, because you're not going to see this same 11 play 180 minutes over 3 days. It's just not. You can't do that.
But see, this is where I think Curtin is going to rely on the young guys.
Yeah,
I think this is what we're going to see because it's not lack of talent; it's just lack of experience.
Yeah,
right. Like the Sullivans of the world and the Glens, they have the talent to be there. We just gotta get them out there, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you saw it in, I want to say it was either match week 3 or 4. Bedoya didn't start. We gave, I believe that start went to Quinn Sullivan. And he did really well in the starting role. So I mean, getting the squad rotation now, the U.S. Open Cup coming along, we have the players that can handle that,
Yeah.
And
it's a deep
really
team.
think, it's very deep roster. Like you look like we just had Aurelian Collin retire, like what, a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
And that guy played for. He was.
We don't need that much depth anymore. I could talk all day about how there's no business for it. Like, they could have picked someone up off the street and threw him in that match, but they were obviously decimated. But
there are certain players that will play. I feel like will play most of it, which players like Martinez that have a certain role out there. Like I think that he would play. He's used to playing. Venezuela, they literally play 17 games in a row without any breaks, and they're completely fine.
108-degree high temperature. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like he'll be okay. But there are certain players that it will play a bunch. I think Harriel it's gonna see the field a lot too. Which I've been loving what he's done this year. This last game against Nashville was a little bit off for him. Like, he didn't have his best game.
Yeah.
Let's just leave it at that. But I love the switch from Basio, which I think is huge in our success this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is, as you mentioned, looking at kind of assessing this match at halftime is going to be really, really big. With the match coming up on Tuesday, if you're up by 2 goals, you've got to sit some guys. If you're down by 2 goals, you've got to sit some guys. You've got to figure it out because you've got a match 72 hours later in Orlando too. It's not like it's like LA and LA or 2 home matches. You're flying across the country to play another one.
And that's a lot.
I get a real strong feeling that if you don't see a mass change at the half in this upcoming match, you'll definitely see at least 3 subs in the first one that we do by like the 50th minute. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It'll at least by then you'll see like Curtin will be like, all right, time to rotate some guys here.
Yeah.
Save them for Tuesday. Like you'll see like some of the vital guys, like at least one of the forwards is gonna come out and Burke or Santos is gonna come in. Definitely.
Probably Bedoya. Burke is going to play at some point.
Yeah, like you'll see like the key point changes. I want to say at least by the 50th, maybe the 55th, just because of the fact that at that point either the game's like gonna stay pacing at the point where you're getting 1 point out of the entire thing, or like Alex said, you're either going to be up 2 or down 2, and you just need to make that change so that way you save those legs for Tuesday.
Yeah. And LA does have an Open Cup match on Tuesday, by the way. So they will be looking at a similar situation. However, they are playing both at home, so that it's not as bad for them. But they are playing a Portland Timbers team that I would say is probably quite a bit better than Orlando right now. So they're playing a tougher squad, but they at least get to stay at home.
Go ahead and get hired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what you get. If you can get a point out of this match in LA with a match on Tuesday across the country, you take that point and you run as fast as you can to the airport.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Tell the Bucks not even to worry about it.
Yeah, just keep it running.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, this has been again another great episode with you, Alex. I'm so glad you were able to come around and talk to us again this week.
Anytime.
Thanks for coming, man.
Again, if you guys want to follow Alex, also all the socials that he's on, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch are all the same. ALXHML. BattleNet. If you play stuff on BattleNet, it's the same there.
1552, I think, are my BattleNet numbers, something like that. But it's the same thing.
And then
Switch.
Yeah, Steam. Yeah, all the stuff. Yeah, definitely give them a follow. It's
my OnlyFans.
Yeah, every single fan in your room.
Literally 2 fans.
It's only PC cooling fans. That's all it is. That's all it ever is. You pay $5 to get a color of your
Just
choice
look at
put
pictures
onto
of
it.
fans.
Pictures.
I'm in. I'd pay that money.
I would too. Shit.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. This is fun. Again, 2 weeks in a row. This is cool. Hopefully we get to do it again when Nashville's in the Eastern Conference next season.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. Oh, dude, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But, for those of you watching, Alex and I had a huge thing with it last week. I'm going to do it again. If you're not following us already, do so. It is free. Clicks
follows are free.
Follows are free. Friendship is free.
Before we let go, I didn't do your prediction. So what are you seeing?
Oh no!
LAFC? What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, you go first.
God, I think we walk out and stave them off and walk away 0-0. Take the point and run.
Alex?
The Union fan in me wants to say 1-1, but I think it's a 2-0 loss.
So, I'm usually optimistic. I'm thinking a 2-1 loss.
Yeah. I'll take that if there's squad rotation. 2-0, I'll take if there's squad rotation. You get some fresh legs ready for Tuesday, because, yeah.
I'm jotting this one down as a loss, but it's okay, because we've been doing well, so we'll get back up there. We should be fine.
Tough team. It's a tough team. It really is.
Yeah, and if you tune in next Tuesday, Gus and I will break down 2 matches. We'll get to break down the LA match and the Open Cup match, so it'll probably be a bit of an extended episode. Looking forward to that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Make sure you guys follow us everywhere you can, because actually, we just found out, starting on June 3rd, Facebook will no longer be doing podcasts. It will be Twitch and YouTube only, folks. So make sure you get over there, you follow us, you get notified when we go live, because if you miss out, you lost. I'm kidding. It's going to be there for a VOD, so you can always watch it whenever. You won't lose. You'll still win. You'll still get your content. You'll still have a great time. We got Sully Slot on Mondays. We got us, Slater Sinbin, I keep forgetting the name of the combat sports show, and I feel terrible. Fight Club 215. There it is. They come on after us tonight, actually, at 10:15. So I'm trying to hurry this up so I can get us the hell out of here so they can do it. Sundays, Double Inc. Breakfast and Body Slams. Thursday night slams every other Thursday, 9:05. And then us on Tuesdays at 9. So again, Alex, you've been amazing, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming through again.
Thanks, guys.
Shout out to the McCarty jersey up against your back wall there.
One of these days, that'll actually be hanging.
Last week it was his hat. This week it's his jersey. So, so yeah, guys, this has been awesome. Stay tuned for Fight Club 215 coming up at 10:15. We're out.
See you guys.